Before you listen with your ears, listen with your awareness. Because this message is not meant to motivate you. It is meant to remind you everything you have ever wanted is not missing from your life. It is missing from your assumption. The power you seek is not outside of you, not in effort, not in chance, and not in waiting for the right moment. It has always been present in the words you use every day without realizing their authority. When you say, "I am," something responds. Not later. Not someday, immediately. These two words are the creative center of your life, silently shaping your experiences, whether you are aware of it or not. If you have struggled repeated affirmations without results, or felt close yet unseen, it is not because you lack power, it is because you were never taught how to ask from being instead of desire. As you listen, do not try to force belief. Simply allow yourself to feel the truth of who you already are. This is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to what you have always been. Listen slowly. Listen daily, and let this message realign you with the only power that has ever created your life. Every transformation in life begins with identity, not action. Long before results appear, before circumstances shift, and before opportunities arrive, something subtler has already changed. The concept you hold of yourself. This is why the words "I am" carry such power. They are not a request, a hope, or a wish. They are a declaration of being. And whatever you declare yourself to be, life must accept and express. Most people believe they create through effort. They try harder, think harder, push harder, yet effort without identity only produces exhaustion. Creation does not respond to force. It responds to assumption. The moment you define yourself inwardly, the outer world begins reorganizing itself to match that definition. You are not becoming something new. You are revealing what you have claimed to be true. When you say "I am," you are naming the role you occupy in the story of your life. If you say even silently, "I am overlooked," "I am unlucky," or "I am always struggling," those assumptions become instructions. Life does not argue with them, it obeys them faithfully. Not because life is cruel, but because it is neutral. It reflects without judgment. The creative power of "I am" does not depend on belief at first, it depends on acceptance. You may not emotionally feel confident, wealthy, loved, or fulfilled, yet the moment you gently accept the identity of someone who is, the seed is planted. Feeling deepens later, evidence comes later. Identity always comes first. This is why repeating affirmations without inner alignment often feels empty. Words spoken from the identity of one who lacks cancel themselves, but the same words spoken from the calm assumption of one who is become law. The difference is not volume or repetition. It is state of consciousness. Your identity is not defined by your past. The past is only a record of previous assumptions. It has no authority unless you continue to claim it. You are free at any moment to release the old name you have been calling yourself and quietly accept a new one. The world will follow, even if it resists at first. Do not try to fight your old identity. Resistance gives it life. Instead, gently withdraw your attention from it and place your awareness on the version of you who already lives in fulfillment. Ask yourself simple inner questions. How would I see the world if this were already true? How would I move? How would I respond? These questions shift identity without strain. Identity is not created through dramatic emotion. It is created through familiarity. The more natural a state feels, the more powerful it becomes. This is why returning daily to the feeling of I am, already this, is an. You are not convincing the world, you are training your awareness. When challenges arise, remember this truth. Circumstances do not test your power. They reveal your identity. Whatever you instinctively assume in reaction to life is what you have been identifying with. Use this awareness not to judge yourself, but to adjust gently. The highest use of I am is silence, not shouting affirmations, not forcing belief, but resting inwardly as the one who knows. When identity is settled, action becomes effortless, timing becomes precise, and life begins meeting you halfway without struggle. You are not here to chase what you want. You are here to be the one who has, and once I am is claimed, everything else must follow. Most people spend their lives asking the world, asking others, asking circumstances, and even asking themselves, when will it happen? Yet the deepest truth is this: asking is only a temporary stage. It exists to move you toward assumption. The moment assumption is reached, asking dissolves naturally, because there is nothing left to request. When you ask from desire, you are standing in the identity of someone who does not have. Desire itself is not wrong, but remaining in desire keeps you separated from fulfillment. The inner power does not respond to need, it responds to acceptance. It does not answer questions, it mirrors states. This is why endless affirmations often produce frustration. Repeating words while internally waiting for proof reinforces the state of lack. You are saying in feeling, I will believe when I see. But creation works in reverse. You must see inwardly first. Assumption precedes appearance. To assume does not mean to pretend or force belief. It means to mentally occupy the state of the wish fulfilled. It is a quiet inner shift, not a dramatic emotional event. You stop looking at life as someone trying to get and begin viewing it as someone who has already received. The simplest way to assume is to stop asking questions that imply absence. Questions like, how will it happen? When will it come? Why isn't it here yet? All belong to the old state. Instead, gently ask a different kind of question. What would feel natural if this were already done? Then allow yourself to rest in that feeling. Assumption is not effort, it is permission. You give yourself permission to accept a new reality inwardly without waiting for confirmation. The moment you do, the request is complete. The inner power does not need reminders, it needs acceptance. Many people fear assumption because they think it means ignoring reality. In truth, assumption means recognizing that the outer world is secondary. Circumstances are not causes, they are effects. You are not denying what you see, you are choosing what you know. When you truly assume, urgency disappears, desperation fades. There is a calmness that replaces striving. This calmness is the signal that the seed has been planted correctly. Just as you do not dig up a seed to check its progress, you do not disturb assumption with doubt. Persistence does not mean repeating words endlessly. Persistence means remaining loyal to the assumed state, even when appearances lag behind. You may notice moments of doubt. This is natural. Doubt only becomes a problem when you agree with it. Simply return to the feeling of fulfillment without judgment. The moment you stop asking is often the moment life begins responding. Not because you gave up, but because you finally moved into alignment. Asking keeps the door open. Assuming walks through it. You are not here to convince reality. You are here to select it. Once the assumption is made, the path unfolds automatically. People, events, and opportunities arrange themselves without force. You may not recognize the movement at first, but it is happening the moment you decide inwardly. So let asking end gently. Let assumption take its place, and allow life to confirm what you have already accepted as true. Creation does not respond to words alone. It responds to what is felt beneath those words. Feeling is the silent communicator between your inner awareness and the outer world. Long before something appears as a visible fact, it exists as a felt reality within you. This is why two people can say the same words and receive completely different results. The difference is not technique, it is feeling. Feeling is not emotion in the dramatic sense. It is not excitement, happiness, or intensity. Feeling is the quiet sense of this is true. It is the naturalness of an assumption that no longer needs effort. When something feels normal to you inwardly, life accepts it as law. Many people try to manufacture emotion, believing they must feel ecstatic or deeply moved for something to happen. This creates strain. True creative feeling is subtle. It is the calm inner conviction that does not argue, explain, or justify it. It is the feeling you have when you know your name, unquestioned, familiar, and effortless. When you assume a new identity or accept a fulfilled desire, the feeling that matters is the after feeling, not the thrill of getting, but the steadiness of habit. Ask yourself, how would I feel after this is already part of my life? The answer is usually calm, grounded, and natural. That is the feeling to cultivate. Words without feeling are empty. Feeling without words is powerful. This is why silent acceptance often produces faster change than spoken affirmations. The inner power listens to what you are, not what you repeat. Your dominant feelings are not created by circumstances. They create circumstances. If you consistently feel unsupported, overlooked, or unsafe, life will echo those feelings. If you feel secure, valued, and guided, Reality arranges itself accordingly. Feeling is not a reaction, it is a cause. You do not need to feel something all day for it to work. A few moments of genuine acceptance are enough. Just as a seed only needs to be planted once, a state only needs to be entered truly. The rest is a matter of allowing it to grow undisturbed. When doubt appears, it often brings a feeling with it: tension, urgency, or frustration. These are signals that awareness has slipped back into the old state. Do not fight the feeling. Fighting strengthens it. Instead, gently replace it with the feeling of completion. Return to the calm knowing: this is already done. Feeling is trained through repetition, not force. Each time you revisit the fulfilled state, it becomes more familiar. Familiarity breeds belief. Belief then hardens into fact. This is why daily listening, quiet reflection, and inward stillness are so effective. Nighttime and moments of relaxation are especially powerful. When the mind is calm, feeling enters more easily. In these moments, imagine a short scene that would imply fulfillment, and let yourself feel its reality. Do not visualize with strain. Allow the feeling to arise naturally. The outer world may contradict your inner feeling at first. This is not failure. It is delay. The echo has not yet caught up with the sound. Remain loyal to the feeling, not the evidence. Evidence always follows. You are not meant to control your emotions. You are meant to select your state. Feeling is simply the confirmation of the state you are occupying. Choose the feeling of fulfillment. Return to it gently, and let creation respond in its own perfect way. What you see around you is not the cause of your life. It is the result of. Circumstances do not initiate events. They echo decisions already made within. This is one of the most freeing realizations you can have, because it removes blame, struggle, and fear from the process of change. If circumstances are reflections, then changing your inner position automatically changes what you see. Most people live as if the outer world is in control. They wait for permission from conditions before they allow themselves to feel secure, confident, or fulfilled. But this reverses the order of creation. The outer world is always behind, never ahead. It can only reflect what has already been accepted inwardly. When you react emotionally to circumstances, you are unknowingly giving them creative authority. Reaction says, "This has power over me." But circumstances have no independent power. They are shadows cast by past assumptions. Reacting to a shadow only deepens it. Ignoring it while changing the source causes it to fade naturally. This does not mean pretending circumstances do not exist. It means recognizing their position. You can acknowledge what you see without agreeing with what it suggests. Agreement is what gives permanence. Awareness alone does not. Every unwanted situation is evidence of a former state of consciousness. It is not a verdict on your future. The moment you shift your assumption, the situation is already outdated, even if it appears unchanged for a time. Delay does not mean denial. It means transition. Many people abandon their inner work because circumstances seem stubborn. But stubbornness is not resistance. It is momentum. Just as a moving object takes time to slow after force is removed, circumstances take time to reorganize after a state is changed. Persistence during this phase is what separates conscious creators from hopeful observers. When something unwanted appears, ask yourself gently, what must I have been assuming to produce this? Not with guilt or self-criticism, but with curiosity. Awareness dissolves unconscious patterns. Once seen, they lose power. You are not meant to fix the world directly. Trying to manipulate people or force outcomes only reinforces the belief that power is outside of you. Your work is always inward. Change the assumption and allow life to handle the details. Silence is often the strongest response to circumstances. Silence is not passivity. It is confidence. It says, I know who I am, and I know what I have accepted as true. From this position, reactions soften, choices become clearer, and inspired action arises naturally. Circumstances will often test a new assumption shortly after it is formed. Old patterns may appear louder or more convincing. This is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign to remain still. Do not negotiate with appearances. They are in the process of changing. Remember this: the world must reflect your dominant state, not your temporary moods. A moment of doubt does not undo a settled assumption. What matters is where you consistently return. As you practice this understanding, life becomes less dramatic. You stop seeing events as personal attacks or failures and begin recognizing them as messages, indicators of where awareness has been dwelling. You are not here to battle reality. You are here to outgrow it. And as your inner position stabilizes, the outer world will rearrange itself quietly, naturally, and inevitably. The final and most misunderstood part of conscious creation is after identity is chosen, assumption accepted, feeling entered, circumstances ignored, and persistence practiced, there is only one thing left to do: rest. Not rest as inactivity, but rest as inner completion. Rest is the silent confirmation that the work is done. Most people struggle here. They believe they must stay alert, watchful or vigilant, as if something might go wrong if they relax. But the opposite is true. Rest signals trust. It tells the deeper power that the decision is final, that nothing more is required. Resting in the fulfilled state means you stop mentally revisiting the desire. You do not keep asking, checking, or correcting. You allow it to exist in you as a settled fact. Just as you do not constantly think about things you already have, you stop focusing on what has been accepted inwardly. This does not mean forgetting your desire. It means releasing it from effort. It lives now as part of your identity, not as a project to manage. When attention drifts back to wanting, gently return to being. Rest is where natural action arise. When the inner state is calm, actions feel obvious, timely, and unforced. You are not pushing life, you are cooperating with it. Opportunities appear, decisions feel clear, and movement happens without strain. Many people fear rest because they confuse it with doing nothing. But rest is not passivity. It is alignment. From rest, the right thoughts, conversations, and choices emerge on their own. You act, but without anxiety. The fulfilled state has a specific feeling, not excitement, but satisfaction. It is the quiet confidence that no longer needs reassurance. Cultivating this feeling is not done by imagination alone, but by repeatedly returning to inner stillness. Silence is the doorway to rest. In silence, the mind stops interfering. You are no longer rehearsing the past or predicting the future. You are simply present, aware and grounded in the assumption that all is well. Rest also means releasing timelines. The need to know when is a form of tension. Timing belongs to the process, not to the mind. When you rest, you allow life to choose the path of least resistance. If impatience appears, it is a sign that rest has been disturbed. Do not criticize yourself, simply notice it and return to calm acceptance. Rest is a practice, not a one-time act. The most powerful creators are not the most intense. They are the most relaxed. Their certainty is so natural that it goes unnoticed. This is the state to cultivate. You rest not because you are waiting. You rest because it is done. And in that rest, the unseen becomes visible, the inner becomes outer, and what was once desired arrives as something entirely natural. Now let the effort fall away. There is nothing left to do, fix or chase. You have asked in the only way that ever works, by accepting within yourself that it is already done. The moment you assumed the state, the request was answered. Everything from this point forward is simply the echo of that decision. Do not measure progress. Do not search for proof. Proof follows belief. It never precedes it. Remain loyal to the inner knowing, even when the outer world is quiet. Especially then, return to this feeling often, not to get something, but because it is who you are now, the one who knows, the one who rests, the one who has received. And as you move through your days, let this be your silent truth. I am, and it is finished. Stay there. Life will meet you. Thank you for giving this moment to yourself. Thank you for choosing awareness over struggle and knowing over doubt. If this message resonated with you, return to it often. Let it become familiar, natural, and effortless, just like the power within you. Until next time, remain faithful to your assumption, gentle with yourself, and confident in what you have accepted as true. Everything is already in motion. Thank you for listening.